I spent lots of time making this beautiful thumbnail. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, of the Kingdom Come table room with Superman at the front, which I turned into James Gunn, and I have The Rock and Gal Gadot and lots of other people there. And I thought this would be the main topic today because this is really interesting to me, and it's something that I always wondered why they weren't doing. We always knew that we were leading to Thanos with Marvel, right? Even though it took forever. We always knew that that was the storyline we were in, the Infinity Saga, right? And I always wondered, what is that for DC? Why does DC not have a similar formula where we're in the Kingdom Come saga, or we're in the Apocalypse, or we're in, or whatever the shit, that they want to do. There's tons of storylines they could do as well. And they have it. But now you got James Gunn over there, right? And he and Peter Safran are now heading this whole thing and making their own decisions on what's going to go on. And one of the decisions that they keep teasing, at least James Gunn does on his tweeter, is the Kingdom Come comic, right? And so I have this article here brought up by Collider, and I want to read a little bit about this. There has been a lot of excitement over James Gunn and Peter Safran being named the heads of the newly established DC studios. Since this game-changing news hit the airwaves in October, Gunn has been too shy about teasing what the hasn't been too shy about teasing what the next 10 years of the DC universe would look like under his new regimen. This includes teasing characters like Lobo and Mr. Terrific. Now, the fan favorite filmmaker has just dropped arguably his juiciest tease of all, and it involves Kingdom Come. The image that Gunn dropped on his various social media pages is of the now iconic 20th anniversary cover of Kingdom Come, done by the legendary comic book artist Alex Ross. The image has Superman standing around a table with his Reformed Justice League, which is the image that I used for the thumbnail. A league which includes Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, Hawkman, Aldous Hodges, Atom Smasher, definitely can't remember his real name, Red Robin, Red Arrow, Red Tornado, sounds awesome, Donna Troy, she from that 70s show, and Alan Scott's Green Lantern. Gunn accompanied the image with the simple caption, quote, "making plans." And I also put like a blueprint on the table, to insinuate that he's making plans, right? Shazam himself, Zachary Levi, even responded to Gunn's post on Instagram saying excitedly, "Fuck yes!" with a fire emoji for good measure. We love you, Zachary Levi. The article goes on, if Kingdom Come is indeed part of Gunn's, quote, plans, this could be huge for the DCU. The original 1996 miniseries, written by Mark Waid with the art done by Alex Ross, is one of the best comic book storylines ever written. It was an epic Elseworld story that saw an older Superman come out of retirement to reform the JLA after the newer generation of heroes got a bit too violent for the Man of Steel's liking. This caused him to butt heads with Batman, who didn't take kindly to DC's flagship character being away for a decade. This post-apocalyptic and futuristic storyline still has influenced over 25 years of DC. It inspired the Injustice video game franchise, and Superman alum Brandon Routh played the Kingdom Come version of the character in the CW's Arrowverse crossover, Crisis on Infinite Earths, in 2019. Also, shows like Batman Beyond owe a lot to Kingdom Come's success. This is great. There's more in the article if you guys want to go check it out, where they talk about how he may. That's all speculation stuff. At the end of the day, all this really is. But I think Gunn's hinting at this is where he may be going with this, man. And this is cool. This gives us an idea of what's going on, how we could see Henry Cavill's Superman later on more involved in this. How cool would it be to see an old, rugged Henry Cavill that
Still handsome.
Yeah, right. But has to come out of retirement and has to go whoop ass on, Booster Gold and, and some of these little dudes. And then Batman pops up and he's like, hey, where was she? Where have you been? Right? And then at some point, there's the whole, why did he say that name? Right. You can't have that now without the two of them in the same room.
No.
But yeah, that would be cool. I would love to see something like that. Obviously, all these characters would kind of be different, right? You don't have that version of Green Lantern. You don't have, everything would be slightly different. Maybe Black Adam's at this thing somehow too, right? But either way, this is exciting news. It gives us an idea of at least a direction or an idea of where to go. Look, man, no plan ever worked without making the plan.
Right.
It can't work. There's no plan. The plan can't just be, let's just go in there and shit all over everything. That can't be the plan.
It doesn't
and it doesn't work. So this is exciting for DC fans. I've become more and more of a DC fan. Listen, the best, Trevor, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. The best comic book movie to come out this year is The Batman.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
Is there anything
ever.
even close to this year that's came out that's got nothing? Nothing's even close. It's the best movie. In fact, I would argue that it's the best comic book movie that's come out since Logan. And that was like 2017. It's better than Endgame, Infinity War, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man. It's better than, dude, The Batman is one of the best
like
comic book movies.
type of
yes.
movie, like
it
it's
really
not just like
is.
a real. There's lots. Marvel in that time made a lot of very, very good movies.
Yeah, fun movies.
Stuff I had a blast with, but nothing that could even.
This is a movie.
Tap that one on the shoulder.
This is a movie.
Yes,
this is
a
real
film.
movie. Yes, and
people should study it.
And then before that you have the Joker, which is under the same lines. So there's been kind of a few wins now over at DC,
and Black Adam was kind of a win. I like Black Adam.
I thought Black Adam was fun.
Yeah,
like it's not a good movie.
No, but it was fun.
It's so many fun moments. By the time it's over, you're like, God, I love that thing.
Right? Like,
and I love Dr. Fate so much now.
Yeah.
And so I have all these things that I love about DC, and it's making me want to see them be successful. And now James Gunn's over there, and it's like, damn, this could really be something, man. And yeah, this is super exciting, man. I hope we get to see this come to fruition. Love nothing more to see, like I said, an old weathered Superman have to. This is like Logan, right? Mm-hmm. He ain't popped his claws in over a decade. He's been just in his crystal solace thing,
right,
just chilling. Whatever he does, slowly aging, and he has to come out because he's like watching TV, I guess, right? And he's seeing like Booster Gold slap up criminals and shit, and he's like, "Oh, come on, man! You don't slap them up, you just arrest them." And he's got to come out of retirement to go slap Booster up. And like I said, then Batman jumps in and he's like, this is awesome bullshit.
Right, how
does that not sound interesting, man? Especially with the characters we have.
Yeah.
Like if we can get Henry Cavill in that role, I mean, we build to it too, right?
Right.
Because we still get 5 years in the future of young Superman. We're talking about 10 years down the line, think about how long it took for the Infinity Saga to complete, guys. So this isn't like a 3-year plan. Imagine this. Henry Cavill's now 55 years old. He's 58 when the movie comes out. And he's got the gray coming in on the sides like this this beautiful Alex Ross picture that I brought up here. He's got the gray coming on the side, and he's been our Superman for decades now.
Right.
Decades. And they've brought him back in, and he's done so much, and he's been our core character, and that's what we've known and loved. And then one time, years ago, they sent him away, and we haven't seen him for 4 or 5 movies. And then all of a sudden, we get him back. Dude, that sounds awesome. This sounds like a long play to me.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind, guys, when we're thinking about this. This is something, again, I think about how long it took the Infinity Saga. 25 movies, 20 years, whatever it was. It was a long time. And I expect something similar to this. But Trevor, you're hearing this news. Kingdom Come, Superman, James Gunn, Peter Safran, Green Lantern. Ah!
Okay. All right. Well, I've got to give it up to DC. I was thinking about it while we were talking. Man, other than Wonder Woman 84, the last several movies they've made have been pretty good. Like if not great. You know, like Batman, we were just talking about, obviously amazing. And then we had something like we had Shazam. Shazam is a really good movie. I really enjoyed that. Black Adam, very enjoyable movie. And again, if we remember back to those first Marvel movies, like a lot of those were just enjoyable. You know, like there was a few of them in there that were like, all right, okay, like Captain America 1. I really enjoyed that movie a lot, but there was just, you know, it wasn't like a perfect movie or whatever. And I'd compare that almost to Black Adam, you know, and all of these things. Then knowing that, and then you add in the idea that Gunn's finally going to be in there, and he's actually got some direction. He knows where it's going. Mm-hmm. I'm finally freaking excited for DC because,
who would have thought all it took was an idea? That's it, DC. It just took one idea. That's it.
Right.
You just needed an idea. Marvel had so many of them.
Right.
I mean,
just give me one.
Days of Future Past. Infinity War. There's
Right.
so many. Why?
You could
just an idea is all you needed, guys. Thank you, James
Comics
Gunn.
are so good too. Like it's like when I was a kid. I mean, like I've never been like a huge comic book person. Like
Sure.
I always loved all the heroes and stuff, and I would always watch like all the TV shows and stuff. But I just never like I didn't have enough like money or time to like go collect all of these things. So I never really got to like read a lot of the actual comics.
Well, but by the time you were growing up, what would you rather do? Read the comic or watch the
movie.
90s Batman animated series?
And watch the show.
Right, for
Which is
sure.
what I did.
So by the time you were growing up, it was like, well, I got way better Batman over here, bro.
Right,
like
I don't know
this
how to
is
sit
cool.
through it.
All right,
Right.
this is cool, and I'm glad it exists,
Yeah.
but it's Saturday morning, and I'm ready to watch Batman.
Right, I got my Lucky Charms. I'm ready to hang out and watch some Batman, baby.
For sure.
That is how I watched a lot of. That's how I really got my experience with a lot of that. But even with that, the any of the DC stuff I ever read or saw, I always loved DC. DC was always my thing. I didn't even really have that much of a conception about what Marvel really was. And I mean, I knew a few of the characters, but I didn't really understand that there was like a big separation between the two of them until I was probably, it was probably around the Batman, like the original, like not the original, but the Nolan trilogy, that I started to kind of really have a conception that, oh, okay, there's two separate things and they're kind of going against each other. And I like the DC one because all of the ones that I would mention when I'd say like either Green Lantern or Batman or Flash or any of these things, they're all DC. And so the fact that DC was like so terribly stupid for so long was so depressing. But this actually, and all you really ever needed to do was just an idea and like something to actually aim to, like. It felt like what they were doing was they saw the success of Marvel and they said, let's take all of the outside elements of what Marvel is doing and like try and put something together from the outside elements, which you cannot make a story that way. You have to start from the idea and then pick up the elements as you go through and you create the story. And something like DC makes it very easy. Once you have that idea, you have so many good characters, so many good stories that you can drag that idea through to see what happens, but they never had a core idea.
Nope.
And
never.
If they did not believe in it whatsoever.
Not even a second.
No.
Yeah, I think that what's his name? Zack Snyder. I think Zack Snyder had the core idea.
Yeah.
And I think in the beginning they were all about it.
Right.
But as things, did what they did,
Yeah.
they were like, all right, we don't believe in none of this shit anymore.
Yeah.
But I think Snyder did have at least some sort of idea of what was going on.
And I'll say this as well about that is when you actually, and I cannot believe now that I'm just sitting here saying this because people would tell me that this was the case. And I was like, you're an idiot. There's no way that cutting things around would change the way I felt about especially Batman versus Superman. Right. And honestly, like I went and I started with Man of Steel and I worked my way through it watching all of the Snyder cuts. And by God, I actually really ended up enjoying the Batman versus Superman because I don't know what they did, but the extra like 30 minutes of stuff managed to give context to a few things to where at the end I actually felt very strongly about what happened to Superman. And then, of course, one of my favorite purely comic book movies of all time is the Snyder Cut because it is one of the. I remember watching it the first time and I was like, this is a comic that has come to life. And it is 4 hours and it should have been 2 movies. It shouldn't have needed to be that 4 hours. But man, it paid off and it was a really amazing. I've seen it twice. I've actually watched that movie 2 times and it's 4 hours long. So it's like, I loved it. And I mean, when he had the idea, it came together, but they lost faith in it so fast that it never. I don't know if it would have been good because I like the first step in the plan. I like Man of Steel a lot, and the older I get, the more I like it. And it's just they got a little criticism, and they completely fell apart instead of just believing in what they have. Yeah. And I think if they would have just believed in it, and this is what the later on Snyder cuts told me, it wouldn't have been perfect. Is Batman vs. Superman still perfect? No. But it is a decent movie, and I enjoyed it. And Snyder Cut is actually a good movie. Like the movie, I actually really thought that was cool. So, I mean, there was at least something there, and I think they would have been making money. I think they would have, got butts in seats because they would have committed.
I agree that the Justice League or the Snyder version of Justice League was the superior movie. But to be honest with you, man, when I watched the Joss Whedon Justice League for the first time, it was probably 2018 when I watched it, and I watched it by myself at home, and I remember going, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's not good either. But I remember going, yeah, I enjoyed myself. And it had moments where I was like, wow, this is really cool. And it had moments where I was like, wow, this is really dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I didn't really think there was much improvement that could be made. I think Zack Snyder's is an improvement. But like I said, I think it had all of the trimmings to be a great movie. You just got to believe in your creators, especially when you paid them and hired them to do such a thing.
And like they already made half the movie,
over half.
Stuff like that is that. I don't know, man. That whole Warner Brother. I'm glad that regime is dead.
I'm just glad that James Gunn's there, and I'm glad it looks like they have a plan. Guys, what are your thoughts on this whole Kingdom Come thing? Definitely let me know what you guys think about James Gunn and this idea. Is he just teasing with us? If he isn't, how long do you think this will see? Is this a decade-long plan to you? Is this a 5-year plan to you? Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below.